This week on the Texas Tribune Weekend Insider, when we talk about the Texas-Mexico border, we may often think of drug violence or immigration issues. Reporter Julian Aguilar explains the challenges and temptations facing business owners on the border. Wind energy development has been a boon for many school districts in the state. Reporter Morgan Smith takes us to a West Texas community that used the windfall to build new facilities and create scholarships for students. Will the educational opportunities created have a lasting impact on the communities?
Vikram Datta is an Indian immigrant that came to New York City in the 1980s, became a citizen in the 1990s, did very well as a wholesale perfume vendor. In the middle part of last decade, he went down to Laredo to collect on a debt. And while he was down there, he saw what a gold mine the Mexican shoppers could produce for him. So within a year, he opened 4 successful stores in Laredo. And what happened as part of a Department of Justice's task force to try to snare people operating in the black market peso exchange, he became involved with undercover agents whom he thought were cartel operatives. And what the black market peso exchange is, it's a sophisticated way to launder money. Drugs get sold in the U.S., the cash gets shipped back to Mexico. They exchange those for pesos with a corrupt peso broker who in turn buys goods with the U.S. currency, and those goods are then shipped back to Mexico and sold for even more money. This is an interesting story because a lot of people talk about spillover and they think police sirens, police tape, immigrants swimming in the Rio Grande, shootouts across the border. But there's also a legitimate concern about commerce. And this case is important because defense attorneys say, look, downtown merchants need to be aware of where all this money is coming from. Because, like happened to Mr. Datta, they allege that if they can't breadcrumb it back to the original source, then they could get in this trouble. But there really is no way to find out where every exchange comes from.
There's a handful of mostly rural, tiny school districts that have been able to receive millions of dollars from wind farms through an economic development incentives. And this is a loophole that's now been closed, but we're just now seeing what these school districts are doing with the millions of dollars that they've received. One district is buying an iPad for every student starting in 7th grade. New facilities, new football fields. Another district, there's basically $28 million sitting in an education foundation for scholarships for students when they graduate. And students there get $3,000 a year for each year they spent in the district. The loophole that allowed them to get so much money from these agreements is now closed. And so now they're capped at $100 per student in what they can receive from wind farms in the way of extra money. In a lot of these rural communities, now they have these great facilities, but before, superintendents told me that they had holes in their ceilings. I think that, you know, they're still going to be fine, they're still going to receive some benefit from having the economic development of the wind farm there, but you're not going to see the same type of ambitious, innovative projects that they're taking on out there.